Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed. Today, I want to give you something you can actually do, even if you are busy, tired, working, studying, or taking care of family. Many adults say, Tom, I want to improve my English, but I don't have time. And I understand. Life is full. Your day is already full. But here is the important truth. You do not need 3 hours a day. You do not need perfect motivation. You do not need a perfect schedule. What you need is one small system that fits inside real life. So today, I will give you a 30-minute daily English routine designed especially for busy adults and self learners. It is simple, it is structured, it is repeatable, and it helps you build real speaking ability. This routine is based on a few powerful learning ideas. First, learning works better when you practice a little every day instead of a lot once a week. Short sessions, repeated over time, help the brain remember more strongly. Second, when you see words and phrases again and again in meaningful situations, they become familiar and easier to use. Third, when you try to speak and remember, not just listen, your brain builds stronger connections. So, this routine is not random. It is designed for how people actually learn. The goal is simple. Make English part of your normal day. Let's begin. All right. Before we talk about the 30 minutes, we must talk about when. Busy adults often fail not because they are lazy, but because they never decide when English will happen. So choose a daily anchor. An anchor is something that already happens in your day. After breakfast, after your evening tea, after work, before bed. When you connect English to something you already do, it becomes automatic. You don't need to think, you just begin. Now, we start the 30-minute routine. The first rule is very important. Start fast, no thinking. Do not search for content every day. Do not open 10 apps. Do not waste 5 minutes deciding. Decision is the enemy of consistency. So prepare one small English folder on your phone. Inside this folder, keep one short audio or video, a simple note page, and a voice recorder. When your English time begins, you press play immediately. No thinking, okay? For the first 2 or 3 minutes, you just listen. No pressure, no writing, no stopping. 3 minutes. This is like warming up your brain. You are telling yourself, English time has started. When you start fast, you continue more easily. Then, listen for useful lines. This is for minutes 3 to 10. This is our listening time. This is not passive listening like background music. And it is not exam listening where you try to understand every single word. Your goal is simple. Catch useful lines. During these 7 minutes, you listen and choose only 2 sentences, not 10, only 2. Why only 2? Because busy adults do not need many words. They need useful words and phrases they can actually use. Choose sentences that feel natural and practical. For example, I will check and let you know. That sounds like a good idea. Give me a minute. I'm not sure yet. You see, these are natural and practical. You can use them in many different situations. You listen, and when a line feels useful, you replay it once or twice. Then you write it in your note page. Now you have your 2 daily lines. These 2 lines are your material for speaking today. They will become part of your English. This method helps because repeated exposure makes language familiar. When you meet a phrase again and again in real context, your brain slowly stores it. It saves it. Over time, it becomes easier to remember and use. Okay, now we move on to minutes 10 to 18. Shadowing with energy. Now we train your mouth and your ears. We do shadowing. Shadowing means you listen and speak at the same time, or just after the speaker. You copy the rhythm, the speed, and the sound. But many learners do shadowing in a stressful way. They try to be perfect, they get tired, and then they quit. So we use a smarter version. I call it 3-stage shadowing. Stage 1: slow shadowing. For 2 minutes, you pause often. You repeat slowly. You focus on clarity, no pressure. Stage 2: normal shadowing. For 3 minutes, you try to follow the speaker more naturally. You don't stop every second. You aim for flow, not perfection. Stage 3: strong shadowing. For 3 minutes, you speak with energy, a little louder, like an actor. You copy emotion, not just words. Now, you may ask, why should I do this? Because language is not only vocabulary, it is rhythm, it is sound, it is confidence. When you shadow, your mouth learns how English moves. If the audio is long, choose only 20 or 30 seconds to shadow. Repeat that small part many times. Short, repeated practice helps more than long, difficult practice. By minute 18, your brain and mouth are awake. Okay, now comes the most important part: speaking. But this is guided speaking, not free talking. Many learners try free talking. They sit alone and try to talk about anything, but they feel stuck. They do not know what to say. So, we do not do free talking. We do guided speaking. We use your 2 daily lines as a base, as a foundation. Let's take one of the examples I mentioned earlier. I'll check and let you know. First, say it alone 3 times. I'll check and let you know. I'll check and let you know. I'll check and let you know. Slow, then normal. Now expand it with one extra sentence. I'll check and I'll let you know. I need a few minutes. Now, shift it into different situations. I'll check and let you know this afternoon. I'll check and let you know when I get home. I'll check and let you know if it is available. You see, you're not creating English from zero. You are using a base. You are building around a strong sentence. We do the same with the second example I mentioned earlier. That sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. So you say it 3 times. Slow, then normal. Then we expand it. That sounds like a good idea. Let's try it. That sounds like a good idea. We can start tomorrow. That sounds like a good idea. Let's go. That sounds like a good idea. I'm free on Saturday. So, this method trains your brain to use language flexibly. You are not memorizing one sentence. You are learning how to move it into real life. And when you try to say sentences from memory, your brain becomes stronger. Okay, now we lock today's learning. Close your notes, look away from screen, try to say your 2 lines from memory. Then say one expanded version. Then one shifted version, a version that you have changed slightly. If you forget, that's fine. Look and try again. This step is short but powerful. When you try to remember something, your brain builds strong memory connections. Now, record a 20-second voice note. For example, I'll check and let you know this afternoon. That sounds like a good idea. Let's start tomorrow. This recording gives you a record of your progress. You can listen later and hear your improvement. Now, why this routine works for busy adults? Let's step back and understand why this routine works. First, it is short, only 30 minutes. Second, it focuses on useful phrases, not random vocabulary. It includes listening, speaking, memory, and repetition. That's the third reason. Number 4, it removes decision stress. You know what you want to do. Number 5, it builds a daily habit. Busy adults do not need complicated plans. They need simple systems that repeat every day. This routine also works because it connects listening and speaking. Many learners listen a lot, but never speak. Others try to speak, but have no input. So here, input and speaking work together. You listen, you shadow, you speak with a structure, you remember, and you repeat tomorrow. Now, what if you miss a day? Life happens. You get tired, you travel, you work late, and you may miss a day. If you miss a day, do not panic. Do not try to do 2 hours the next day. Just return to the routine. So, my friends, that is your 30-minute daily English routine for busy adults. If you do this daily, English will stop being something you study. It will become something you live with. And when English becomes part of your life, improvement becomes natural. Tell me, what is your daily anchor? Morning, evening, or before bed? And what topics do you like? Work English, travel, or daily conversation. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of English Unleashed. Until next time, keep thinking, keep speaking, and keep unleashing your English. Bye for now.